Hello, how are you today? I'm so glad to be here with you. I know it's been a while since I've done a live with you, isn't it? I just felt compelled to step out from my own stuff and spend a little time sharing with you. I'm so delighted, so blessed to be able to spend some time today talking with you. I don't know whether we'll go like I always seem to go for, 20 or 30 minutes or if we'll only go for two or three here, but I just wanted to spend a little bit of time here to tell you that you are amazing. You're incredible. I don't think you really give yourself credit for what a difference you make in this world, how incredibly, amazingly powerful you are, and how you show up every day just by waking up in the morning and simply being you. A lot of times it doesn't feel that way, does it? A lot of times the harshest critic in our own life is ourselves. And we feel like because we didn't wake up and immediately go back to work on the cure for cancer, or we didn't immediately go out and start giving, to the poor, or, helping those that are disenfranchised, or whatever that thing is that is quote unquote big enough to be able to make an impact in the world, that we're slacking, or we're less than, or we're not doing enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that, but maybe some of the rest of you struggle sometimes with feeling like the little things that you do during your day just aren't quite enough. But I'm here to tell you very loudly, very clearly, very certainly, you are enough. You are amazing. You are incredible. There is no one who is like you. Nobody is gonna wake up this morning and be able to be you. Now, as we go through our days, there are different things that our days call for us. Some days, I always joke the old saying, some days you wake up and it's good morning, Lord, and other days you wake up and it's, oh, good Lord, it's morning, right? Um, some days that wake up, we wake up energized, or we wake up and whether we're energized or not, the world is busy. We've got appointments on our calendar, and we hope that we can get dressed, possibly showered. Maybe we got to take the dog out if you have a dog like I do. And then boom, we're going to be working our whole entire day, just boom, 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 doing things, working, putting it together, being the best version of ourselves. Or maybe it doesn't even feel like we're being the best version of ourselves, and it just feels like we're just working hard, 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 and then it's the end of the day. Maybe what you do comes so easily to you that you don't realize how difficult it is for other people. Maybe we're so overwhelmed with what we're doing that we don't see just how impactful what we do is. I don't know. I mean, I don't know your specific situation, but what I do know specifically is that thing that you do just by being you makes a difference in this world. There's an author, one of our authors we worked with, and her book, it had a great phrase. It said, "You woke up this morning enough." For those of you that have ever seen the movie Deadpool, Colossus has the little teaching moment that he has where he's like, most people think that you're a superhero all the time. You wake up in the morning a superhero, you brush your teeth a superhero, you go to bed a superhero. Um, but it's really 4 or 5 moments. I'm going to disagree with Colossus. I mean, he's a made up character, so he probably won't be too overly offended, I hope. But you are a superhero. You know why? Because you wake up in the morning and you're you. You're the incredible, amazing you that you are. And maybe your day is filled with dishes and dirty diapers, or, it's corporate I have a friend of mine that just took a promotion at work, and that, of course, means that now he has more meetings that he gets to go to. Right? Yay, corporate. Maybe your days are like mine, where you are. It's just you and your little dog here in your house, and sometimes that can get really lonely too. Sometimes you talk to Facebook Live, and maybe nobody's on with you live, or maybe it's just a couple of people at the time. And it can feel really lonely, and you don't really see or know or even believe the impact that you're making. But I'm here to tell you, you absolutely are. It may be right now, or it may be 20 years from now, that the thing that you do right now makes the impact that it's going to make, but it does. And it may be that you are putting together a chemical formula so that you are going to cure cancer. Or it may be that the thing you need to do today is to take a nap, to read a good book, or to write the next chapter in your book, or maybe even, if you've taken any of my classes or worked with me, maybe even write your whole book. I'm excited to be able to share with everybody. I was just looking at the statistics, sharing with a class that I was in a couple hours ago. I have done 3 books that are now all bestsellers in the last basically 20 days. Now, I didn't write all of those in the last 20 days. All of those happened to be books that were sitting on my desk doing no good for anyone. And I kicked myself in the hindquarters, and I put them out so that they can bless you, so that they can reach you, so that they can do whatever they're meant to do in the world. Not just so that I can say, hey, I just did 3 bestsellers in the last 20 days. Although that is really cool to say. All of them actually were international bestsellers, in fact. So blow my own horn. But it was exciting. And just the same with you, that thing that you need to do, it's just about what can you do today? What is the thing that you can do today to maximize while it's called today? Once we've established the foundational element of the fact that you're amazing, you're incredible too, there is no one like you. Once we just put that, that's down here in the heart of us, and we can believe that, then we can move on to the more important stuff. And that's, what is the amazing, incredible you gonna do today? And like I said, sometimes that may be reading a book, or writing part of your book, or even taking a nap. Sometimes the best thing you can do in the world is take your grumpy self and go lay down and take a nap. Because when you wake up, you'll have more energy. I remember, and this is a lot of years ago. I mean, gosh, this is probably 30 years ago, but I had a pastor that used to always talk about what he called creative loafing. That was his phrase for it. Creative loafing was basically the concept of taking part of a day off and doing nothing but just lay there on the couch and he didn't watch TV, he didn't read books, he didn't have any external stimuluses. He actually did have a couch that was in his home office, and and he would close the door, and maybe sometimes he'd have some prayer with it, and often he would admit to us that he would doze off and sleep. But he also said that sometimes some of the best of ideas and dreams and visions came to him during that time when he was just laying around, open and available, and if necessary, getting some rest. We all need that. We need the rest. We need the time for the creation, to flow into us. In order to be able to put out all that you do put out in the world, you also need some time where you plug in. And if you have a cell phone like mine, okay, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but most all of us have cell phones now, right? You know what it's like when your cell phone has that message that starts coming up that says battery low, right? And a lot of times we ignore it, because we've learned, like with this particular phone, it starts telling me the battery is low at 20%. The one I had before it started telling me at 15%. But if you don't plug it in, it just, is like a little message that's on the bottom of the thing when you go from black screen to, back to live and active. So it gets ignored a lot, right? In my particular phone, when it gets down to 5%, it starts going into power reduction mode, and it, reduces the lighting on the phone itself so that the screen is a little darker, and it puts a bunch of notifications to sleep and all kinds of things like that to try to eke out more time for me to be able to use the phone, because I didn't, when it first told me, just simply plug the phone in then. And of course, if I go long enough, it'll eventually die. And although that happens to me very rarely, doesn't it always seem like it only ever happens when you're like in the middle of a phone call, or just as you go to pick it up to go on to an important meeting or make a really important phone call? Just kind of seems to be the way, doesn't it? All of us, just like our phones, we need to be plugged in, and we need to not ignore the battery low warning. We need to understand that when our battery of ourselves, our will, our energy, our commitment to being the best us in the world is low, we need to be mindful of those things that are the virtual equivalent of the screen getting a little darker and the notifications getting turned off. Because eventually, some of us that are older can tell you, if you don't pay attention to the warning signs, your body will eventually just make you. Have you ever seen a little kid just play until they drop? They're just having so much fun. And it's really funny too, because in most cases with the little ones, you will even tell them, okay, it's time to go to bed now. And they'll be like, no, I'm not tired, and you'll fight them into their jammies, or, through bath time and then jammies or whatever. And you have all these rituals set in place so that it's supposed to help them wind down from, go, 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 rock'em sock'em robots bouncing off the walls, climbing the curtains mode to sleep, right? But they don't understand that or know that, so they don't want to go bed, right? Any of you that have had kids, you know exactly what I mean. And then you put them in bed, and they're like, you got to read me a story, I need a glass of water, all those things. And it's like, and then you get out their favorite book, that book you've read so many times that you quote it. Okay. You find yourself in a signature talk, or maybe not, maybe not a canned signature talk, but you're like up on stage and you're presenting, and a quote from that book comes out, right? Like Dr. Seuss and with your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet. Oh, you never know. Oh, the people today that you'll meet. That's from Oh, the Places You Will Go. Yes, I've read that one a couple of times. And it gets to the point where you just know that well. I mean, I remember driving in the car. This is back when all the kids were a lot littler, driving in the car, and they were literally, they had assigned parts to one another, and they were talking out The Lion King, every line for line in the backseat of the car, because, this was before we had cars that had, DVD players, or before we had, little tablets that kids could watch. And so they had to entertain themselves. I know, shock, whatever, but, that's the way the world used to be. And they knew that movie by heart. And the same thing's true with that book, right? They know it. You can't get away with skipping a page or 6 or 10 in that book. Oh, no. If you skip a line in that book, they'll be like, wait a minute. No. You skipped a line. But sometimes they're so tired that you open the book and you say, Runaway Ralph by Beverly Cleary, Chapter 1. Ralph was, and they're right? Because their battery was so low, and you could tell, just like the phone, tells you as parents, we can see that their eyes are dimming, and that they're fighting to keep them up, and that they can barely walk across the room or stand. And in fact, a lot of times, actually, they make us carry them into the bed, even though they're not tired at all, but they're too tired to walk. It's the same thing when we become adults. We just don't have mommies and daddies that are smart enough to just scoop us up, give us a nice warm bath. I mean, I've never really totally understood if warm milk actually helps you sleep or not, but back in the day, they used to talk about that. Tuck us into the bed so we're all snuggly down in the bed. Turn off the lights or dim them, and then begin singing us a song or reading us a book. Sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Those of us that are older now, we're like, oh man, I would pay to have somebody do that for me about 3, 4 times a day. Now I'm old enough that I'm like, I like naps. Why doesn't somebody pop up in the middle of my day and say, young man, you need to take a nap? Or old man, however they say it, it would be great, right? We need to. So, and I went on with that a lot longer than I intended to, but I think somebody needed to be encouraged today that being the best version of the amazing you that you are, the best thing you could do for yourself and the whole world is to plug yourself in, which, maybe these days we call it unplugging. To just step away, read a book, lay down, listen to music, have a phone conversation with somebody that is a friend or that you haven't talked to in a while. And just let the people you know and love know that you love them. That would be a great use of maximizing you today, too. Because the minute you woke up this morning, before your feet ever hit the ground, even after, even if you hit the snooze alarm and, once or 100 times, whatever, even then, even before the final time the alarm rang, or the first crow of the rooster, or whatever wakes you up, you were amazing. You came into today as the most amazing and positively and powerful person that can be. Donna, you're so very welcome. I'm glad it encouraged you. I want you to know you're more than enough. You are amazing. You're powerful. You already were more than enough and more than amazing at the very first second of today. At midnight, 00000101, when it was the very first millisecond of today, you were already amazing and more than enough. And you will be all the way to the very last millisecond of today. And everything you do, it will be absolutely what you should do. And so, on behalf of the whole of the universe, who will be blessed, who will grow, learn, develop, and be a better person just simply because of you being the best you sharing who you are with the world. On behalf of all of us who are better as well because of you, thank you. I appreciate you. Just wanted to spend some time with you today, encouraging you and letting you know you're more than amazing. I did put a link in the description if you'd like to come join our new group. It is full of great books for you to read and amazing authors, a great place where they can share their books. If there's ever anything I can do for you, my link has been right here below me the whole time, right down here. Trying to make it so that I can look at the thing and see it right there. Okay. And you can, you can totally book a time. I'd be glad to jump on and see how I can help you. It's totally free. If I can help you for free, great. And if, if there's other things that you need, somebody I need to refer you to, or me that I need to refer you to, either way, I look forward to hearing about the incredible things you're doing in the world and to applauding and cheering with you as you make the difference that only you can make in this world. Until we're together again next time, hopefully it won't be quite as long as it was since the last time. I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved, and that you know how incredibly amazing you are, and you have a great week.